Alright fellas, here we go. So this is what I'm building. It is an Electro-Chemical Etcher. And I got the plans for this off of the internet. I'll put a link in the bottom down there. Mine is slightly different than the schematics or setup. See if I can find the list of items we need. We don't have it anymore. But I'll show you what all I have. And this photo right here, which I got off Chris Crawford's website, which is also where I got most of the plans here. Alright, so let's go over what we got. We've got a project box, and I drilled holes in it for all the pieces. This is a 120 volt LED lamp. On the inside you've got a transformer, which is a 12.6 or a 25.2. Down here in the bottom is a rectifier, and I've already got all the pieces soldered in. I'll see if I can get close enough so you can see these. So I got all the wires soldered in. There's my fuse holder, and in the back here we got the hole drilled for the power cord. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over how to put all this together. First I'm going to finish up the list of things that I needed. So I've got 2 banana plugs, and the banana clips here, the other portion of the plugs are right here attached to the wires that go out to the alligator clips. I know it's kind of messy right there, but here. So here are the alligator clips and the plug that goes out to it. I got one of each. Here's my power cord, and I've already got one of the pieces soldered on there so the wire can be extended to where I need it to be to make this a little bit faster. I have got 2 double pole, double throws, and I'll show you why it's wired up like this later. And the front faces are right here. The face. I got 1 single pole, single throw for the on-off switch. So that's the power switch. And the fuses. So those are the things I ended up having to get. So let's start putting this together and see how it goes. I ran out of red wire, so that's why the 2 pieces here are the same color. The wires are the same color on the back. So let's get some of this stuff situated here. Bring my schematics over to the side here so I can see them a little better. get our switches put in here. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this in camera as much as possible. Alright, so the plans actually are set up for one double pole, double throw switch, and it's set up to either be done as a 12.6 volt etcher or a 26.2 volt etcher. I'm setting mine up, which is why I have two, as with the ability to change it from one to the other. So it'll either, I can switch it if I put it down, it'll be 12.6 volts, and if I put it up, it'll be 25.2 volts. Alright, and that's why this wire here is coming off of the center pole right there, like that. So one of these on the rectifier is going on to the center pole here. So this red wire here is actually going to be part of the AC current system. So this specific one will be able to etch, mark, and do it in high and low settings. All right, so that's part of the AC. Sorry about that. All right. And then we'll put the DC wires. So I've got it set up so the DC wires in this are green. So the DC wires are going to go to the bottom down here. This way. I'm going to be connecting down here. And that's going to be the negative. And you want to make sure you know which side is which for positive and negative, because it's going to affect which one you connect to your banana plugs over here. And the other green one, over here. So the double throws are numbered on these posts, or the poles. So if you look at it from this direction, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is down here. And I've got these two green wires running to 1 and 4. If you look on the plans, here they're coming off the rectifier. Negative comes up, goes down, and hooks to 1, which I'm fairly certain I have done. 3 is going to 1, yeah. So it's negative, it's going to 1, and positive is coming off and going down to post number 4, which this is 4, so and that is correct. And this wave rectifier has a little notch on the side here on one of the corners, and you can look at it on the rectifier itself. It's got a notch, so these posts come off there exactly the same way. So this is positive, this is negative, and that's how I've got it wired up. Positive's back here, and it comes up right here and runs right into 4. Negative is coming up and running into 1. So that means this side of the switch is going to be the negative side, and this side of the switch is going to be the positive side when you go to run them out to the banana plugs. Alright, so the next piece that's going to get plugged in or screwed in is one of our yellow wires off the transformer. Should have had those taken off already. Alright, so the way I want it done is I want the up position on this switch to be the high voltage, which is going to be the 26 or 25.2, and I want the down position to be the 12.6. So if I want it that way, what I'm going to have to do is put the black wire here on the top. So on this transformer, one black, one yellow is the 12.6 volts, and 2 yellows is the 25.2. And then the yellow one's going on the bottom. See if I don't lose all my parts here. Alright. So my secondary switch has the one black on the top, one yellow on the bottom, which is going to be, I believe, the yellow one's going into number 1, and the black one is going into number 3. And then I have the 2 outputs coming out. So I have the red wire here. It's coming out of the output section, and it's going to the wave rectifier on one of the AC point posts. Sorry about that. And it's got a black wire that's coming up to connect to this point. So when I switch to this position, I'm getting AC current, higher low voltage coming into this point and to this post right here from the yellow. So like I said, if I put the switch down like this, I'm drawing power from the black wire at the top and the yellow wire right here. If I switch it to this position, I'm drawing power from the yellow wire and the yellow wire. Right. Let's see if I can get these in their positions. It's a little tight in this box, but we should be alright. Oh, wait. Nope, sorry. I need to get the banana plugs going in. Alright, so trying to get it situated so you can see. Alright, so I want the red to be negative and the black to be positive. Alright? Let me just double check that one real quick, just to make sure. Yes, I want the black to be positive and the red to be negative. So, if that's the case, I need to figure out where it's coming from. So, like I said, this side right here is going to be the negative side, so I want that to be the red one. And the positive, which is the black one, to go to the other side. Let's turn this right side up real quick. Bring this wire over the top. Let's try to get this without it being all tangled up, or any more tangled up than it already is. Alright. Here we go. Alright, so it's going to the other side here. Alright, so all these are, oh, that one's loose. Let's tighten that up. Alright, all these are tight. All the ones on this other one are tight. So let's get these switches in. Like I said, it's a tight fit in here, but we should be able to do it. There we go. Alright. Let's see. Try to get these wires situated so they're not pressed up against the transformer here. Sorry. Alright, so we got this green wire right here that's coming from here. There we go. Pull that over. It's out of the way, hopefully. Alright. Alright, so let's put these plates on. you guys hear noises going on in the background, people talking and that, it's because the place I'm at is a public space that has a lot of tools that I can use that I might not have at the house, which I haven't really had to use any. They have better equipment than I have at my house, so that's one reason why I'm here. Is I wanted the access to the better equipment. So I'm just gonna mess around with these cables real quick to get them situated the way I want them. This black wire here, and green, yellow, those are all connected over here. Okay. You know what? I think I missed one of the cables when I was plugging this in. Should have been watching my paper here. Let's see, I needed yes I did. So I have red coming off there. Should have been this one right here coming off the other yellow. Oh, I'm glad it's on the top. That would have been a pain to get it on the bottom one. Alright. So let's just put this one here. There we go. Now, just in case I don't think I mentioned it a little bit ago, but all of the wires that I have in here, they are all, anywhere there's a connection pretty much, from one wire to another, I have it heat wrapped, or shrink wrapped, there we go, like this one right here. And I'll show you how to do that in a little bit with one of the other pieces. Alright, so these are the wires to my LED. Power cord, get that, and run it in the back here. So I have the parts that I need here. And eventually I'm going to put some zip ties on both sides so it'll hold it in place. That way I don't have to worry about this piece rocking around and falling off. Make sure you guys are can see what I'm doing on this part. Alright. As you can see, I attached a wire right here to the little leg that comes off the transformer, and this is just a grounding wire, and it shows it in the schematics. That's the reason I put it on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that wire. Let's see if I can get some more cord in here so I have a little bit of working room. Push this through a little bit. Alright. So I just connected to the ground wire here. And what I'm going to do before I do that is get some of the heat shrink. So it looks just like this. It's just a little tube. Little piece of plastic, and you cut it, it comes in longer pieces. This. Put that over there. Twist these together. So much easier if I have a little bit more room to work, but we got what we got. So twist them together like that. Now, here's where some people differ. You can, if you want, solder that, which I am probably going to do, just to make sure you have a better connection and it stays connected. So, There are several ways to solder. This is my personal preference. I get the wire hot. Normally what you'll see people say is the correct way to do the soldering is to come from the back and heat up the wire, put the solder on the opposite side from the soldering iron, and if you have a good enough soldering iron you can do that. This soldering iron for some reason will not melt my wire doing it this way, so I do it my way. Now you want the wire to be heated up, or whatever you're soldering to be heated up with the iron, so the solder actually attaches to it correctly and doesn't just sit on top of it. So I heat it up, and then what I'll do is I will put a bead of solder on here and just keep adding until it drops onto the piece that I'm soldering, like that. Just like that. There you go. So now that's soldered. Just give it a few seconds to cool off. And what I will do is run my heat shrink up, cover those wires, and it might get loud for a second, and get a blow dryer. On the hot setting. As you can see, it's shrinking and tightening around that wire. Alright, so that is now on there. There's no way that's going to come apart. And it's not going to touch anything. No metal from this is going to touch anything metal inside the case, which is why you want to heat shrink your stuff. Alright, so now we've got our white wire here. Our black wire. We got two black wires right on the back of the transformer there, which is where your AC power is going to come in. The fuse wires, and my LED wires, and then the wires for my power switch. So, let's put the power switch in real quick. Then nuts are hard to get doing what you want them to do. There we go. Alright, so the power switch is in there. Now, here's where some fun starts. So we've got a cable that is going to go from the power switch to, I'll show you. So here's where we're at. AC power. Let's go into the fuse box, which we have right here. So it's the black wire, it's going to the fuse. It's going to come off the fuse box and go to the switch. So this wire right here is coming off the power cord. It's going to be right here on the fuse. might want to put some heat shrink on there before I do this. Otherwise, I'll have a problem in a moment. Alright, so here's my power cord. Heat shrink's going to go on there. Just pull it to the back so you're ready for it. Alrighty. So I'm going to cock this to the side a little bit. Or not. Just bend it a little bit, get it to where I want it to be. There we go. Alright, so I got it up against here. Now this is, move these out of the way. Alright. Make sure I've got all this correctly lined up. Hold on a second. Sorry about that, I'm just making sure I've got all these things set up to the right way. Black wire comes here. Let's pull this back so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, so the black wire comes here. Comes to the fuse, comes off the fuse. This. So that's coming off the power cord here and going to one of my LED light, one on the side of my LED. Alright. Now this wire that comes off the fuse box is going to connect with them. So it's going to be like this. Hold on a second, I'll be right back with you. I'm going to make sure I have this situated. It's kind of hard to do this when I'm looking through the camera. So hold on a second, I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back. I had to adjust some things. I did the solder on this real quick while I was off camera. But I'll do the heat shrink with it on camera. And all I'm going to do with this portion is make sure it's covering all the wire and try to get it up on this little post here as much as I can. It's up on the post. There, it's up on the post there, covering that and all the wires. So there's no wires showing. Just give my heat gun. so here we go. We got the wire that's coming off of the fuse box here. It's going to go all the way over here to the power cord, or the power plug-in, right here. Oops. I'm dropping stuff here. And let's put on a piece of heat shrink real quick. Got a piece, the clear one still somewhere around here. So put that on here. Slide it back some. Wait, nope, wrong one. I think I checked on that. Slide it on here and slide it back. Alright. Put it on here. Fold it back over. And we're gonna, what I like to do on on these is if I can manage to hold my solder wire and the wire that I'm actually soldering like this, pull it back so it has a connection up against the post here. Move that out of the way so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can zoom in a little. So you can see how it's wiggling a little bit. What I'll do is I'll pull back on it like that. And I'll get the wire hot. Like I said a little bit ago. Just take a few seconds to get this wire a little bit warm. Heat up the solder, get my bead going, and as soon as it drops on there we go, just like that. Hopefully that came through on the camera pretty good. Let's back this up to now. Alright, then I'm going to run my heat shrink up. Cover up the post and the solder. And heat it up. There you go. So there's that. Alright, now let's get the rest of this wired up. Alright, so I've got one of the wires coming off my LED here, this little wire here coming off my LED. The other wire coming off of the power cord. I've got them twisted together. And I need to do one of the cables coming off the back of the transformer, and you can see down here it's coming off from underneath this piece right here, and all those three go together. I guess I could have left that short like I had it before, but let's twist these together. Got this here, so I'm going to test this connection. So let's see. This should be able to get a reading. So put power here and here, as long as it's turned on. There you go. So I'm touching the wire in the back here, as far. So I've got all the wires pulled forward a little bit, so I've got this little bit of the black wire here exposed, and I'm touching that part of the wire. I'm touching the other side of the post coming from the power cord or the power switch to make sure that these are all connected together. Alright, so roll that back a little bit, and alright, so those are all four connected together, or all three connected together like that. And you know what I did? I forgot to do the heat shrink again. So let's undo this and put the heat shrink on. Alright. Find my piece of heat shrink real quick. So there's different sizes of heat shrink, and since I don't know if this little thin one's going to work on this one, I'm going to get one of the bigger pieces and put it on there as well, just in case. It's not going to hurt anything to have a piece of heat shrink just floating around in there if I don't need it. There we go. Slide that one on. And let's twist these together. Alright, so now they're all hooked together here. And get these warm. Solder at. Oops. Sorry guys, I had you guys zoomed in still. So nice solder. I'm just going to get these wires warm. Some more. Here's the solder on it. Let that cool off. See if I can get this one over the top of this. It is still very much hot. Yeah, I'm going to have to use both these pieces of heat shrink here. Which is fine. It's no big deal. I got them both on there anyway, so. Alright, so let's get this one heated up. That big one up there. Alright, so now the last cable that we've got that we need to attach is to our wire to the light in the front and the rest of the power cord. And the last, whoops, sorry guys. Again, got you guys zoomed in and I shouldn't have. Let's lean this down a little bit. Alright, there you go, now you can see. Alright, so I got the white cord here from the power cord. I've got this other cord that comes from the transformer here. It's the opposite side of the back piece here. And the other cord coming off of my LED. Alright, so this piece. Let's twist these two together for now. And then what we'll do is we'll twist the white one and that together after we get the heat shrink on. So we got this piece. Alright, that's not going to work for now. Let's put it on this one. We don't have a whole lot of room to do that. I'm trying to get the little pointy pieces from poking out so it doesn't cut the heat shrink when I go to put it on. I'm going to test out one more thing real quick, just to make sure. I should get a tone if I touch this part and this part. Okay. Yep, there we go. It's never a bad idea to check your work. Alright, so let's get our solder ready. This one's going to be a little bit harder because of where it's sitting at. So I'm going to turn this whole thing here. Sorry about that. My foot kicked the cord and yanked the soldering iron out of my hand, almost. too much solder on there and it dropped down onto one of the lower wires. And that was what happened. So you can't see, the heat from the solder actually melted or shrank down the heat shrink. So like I said, it was going to be a bad position to do that in. So we'll just have to put some tape on this part, which isn't going to look the prettiest, but it'll work. So there we go, guys. That's all the work on there. Let's see, we should, if I flip this switch up and I put power to the white cord, get a tone. Let's see. Actually, let's do this. Let's put the power here and put this down. Nope. Let's try this then. Here and here. There we go. And if I switch this to the bottom, I should get a tone on here. I can't reach it. Here, I'm going to test this thing out and then I'll come back to you when I get this all put together and finished. Alright fellas, so here's the finished product. Let's see if I can get this thing to focus the way I want it to now. Alright, so I had one issue. I tested everything out. One issue that came up was the cords coming off the rectifier for the DC, which are the two green wires here. On the plans that I got here, it shows that the positive is the one at the top right, which I have my rectifier set up just like this. If you look down on this side, you see the little flat corner there, maybe. Well, anyways, the corner on this side of the rectifier, on this corner up here by this wire, it's flat, just like it is on the screen here. So it should be a positive cable wire coming off there. Well, for some reason, when it would come through, it would come out as the positive wire being the red one, which I don't want it to be. I wanted the black one to be the positive wire and the red one to be the negative, I believe. So all I had to do was go follow the wires. They're down to the bottom of this switch right here. All I had to do was go down and switch them. But all you do, flip it on. There you go. It works. The red light comes on, and those two alligator clips are putting out power. If I flip it where it's at right now is on high, so it's pulling 26.2 volts. If I flip this to the down position, it's pulling 12.6. 12.6 up is 26.2 or 25.2. And right now it's in DC. If I flip it down, that's in the AC position. So the down position here is what this affects. This one is just straight out DC. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. And thanks for watching, guys. Alright, sorry about that, fellas. Alright, so like I said, I go about 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches down. Sorry about the bumpiness. And then I start my berry on this one. And put it in, like I said before. Into the quench. And the quench is just canola oil. It's about a gallon. Work it down over the knitting needle here. Make sure you stay in there. You can feel when you're getting caught and you're pulling the thread from one of the little strands in here.
You want to avoid that because it'll actually affect